Well, that game was more stressful than it should have been. The Texas Longhorns, we win 38-24. The offense, for the most part, looked great. Over 300 rushing yards. Total 500. We had 500 yards total today, which was insane. Just there were a couple of hiccups here and there, like turning the ball over on fourth down, or some of the play calling from Steve Sarkisian, where he went away from the run game for a little bit. Couple of hiccups, but you win by 2 scores. You have over 500 total yards, 300 rushing yards. Quinn Ewers looked pretty good today. Can't really complain on that side. The defense, human nature came into play. They took their foot off the gas. They weren't locked in on defense. Muhammad got kind of toasted today. Cade Klubnik, and he was attacking the outside. The receivers, Clemson receivers, they had a day. Giving up 24 points to Clemson, not a huge fan of that, but I need to just enjoy this win. It was a big win in Austin at DKR. I just hate giving up 24 points to Clemson. I know Cade Klubnik is a baller. He's from Austin. I get it. I don't like giving up 24 to them. I just don't. That's just me. But you get 38. Your offense looks good. Quinn Ewers looks good. Hey, you did what you needed to do. You took out an inferior opponent. You're on to the next round to Arizona State. We play them in Georgia. It's going to be a neutral field for both teams. It's going to be at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, whatever they call it now. I don't know. But it's going to be in Georgia. So, hey. But my takeaways from the game, having Kelvin Banks back is just, that was huge for us. That was huge for us. Trey got hurt a little bit earlier in the game. He still had over, 100-some yards rushing, averaging 6.9 yards a carry. He was fucking phenomenal. Trey Wisner was just, but he got hurt. He'll be okay. I think he'll be ready by the time we go against Arizona State in 10 days, January 1st. Jaden Blue. Jaden Blue, man. And this running back group is like the deepest in the country. Because, C.J. Baxter went out, this year. I think he tore his ACL, so he's been out for the entire year. But you got Gibson, the stocky power back. You got Trey Wisner, who's an all-round, a bell cow running back. He can do it all, north and south runner. And then you got Jaden Blue, who's just a burner. God, that 77-yard run, he was gone, dog. He was gone. But I need Steve to understand, the head coach, Steve Sarkisian. I need you to understand, man. I know you want to instill some confidence in Quinn. And there are times where we need him, but we didn't really need him in this game. Stick with the run. I know you want to mix it up, keep Clemson off balance. I know you want to do that. But there's really no real need to keep Clemson off balance, okay? If this was against higher competition, I'd understand. But you don't really need to do that against Clemson. You had 300 rushing yards against this team. Just keep doing it. And the thing is, we make it so obvious about what we're going to do when we put Arch Manning in the game. To be quite honest, I'm not a fan of putting him in. I'm not a fan. If you're going to keep Arch Manning in, if you're going to put him in, keep him in for a series of plays. Keep him in for a series of 5 plays. You can't, it's so obvious what we're going to do when we put him in the game. It's extremely obvious. The opposing team knows they know what we're going to do. They know what we're going to do. We're either going to run it, we're going to do some RPO action. I mean, it's simple. It's simple to defend. It's simple to predict. Don't put him in there for one play and then call it a day. We're not going against A&M anymore, okay? We're not going against outside power conference teams anymore, okay? This is the playoffs now. We can't be predictable. We can't put Arch Manning in there for one play. The defense know what we're going to do and then take him right out. No, if you're going to mix it up, keep him in there for a series of plays. Keep him in there. Stop bullshitting, Steve. Stop it. I'm just the guy sitting on this couch watching the games as a fan, and I know what we're going to do. So you mean to tell me you don't think Clemson, their defensive coordinator, doesn't know what you're going to do? Dabo Swinney doesn't know what you're going to do? They know what you're going to do, man. Come on. Those are my criticisms. But for the most part, though, we did what we needed to do. And it's really hard to criticize. I'm nitpicking, but it's really hard to criticize 500 yards of total offense, 300 yards on the ground. Holy fucking shit. That was incredible. That was amazing. That was sensational. Sensational. To have that many yards on the ground in the playoffs against Clemson, whew, sweet Jesus. I love pounding the football, man. This is what football is all about. This is what it's all about. You don't need to rely heavily on Quinn Ewers. Clemson, Maffa, I believe that's his name. For Clemson, he couldn't really play much because he was dealing with a shoulder injury. They were one-dimensional. All they could do was rely on Cade Klubnik. And Cade Klubnik played fairly well today. He played very well. But he was their only source of offense. And all he did, for the most part, was attack the outside when we fell asleep. You got to give them credit for it. They did what they needed to do. They did what they had to do. That's their only choice. So I give him credit for that. But we're not Clemson. We don't have to lean on Cade Klubnik and wish and hope that the opposing defense, when they have a huge lead, they fall asleep. We don't need to do that. We're not them. We have an incredible running back room. We have a crazy run game with a superior offensive line. Use it. Use it to your advantage. Don't let your foot off the gas. You know, a couple of years ago, it was Josh Allen. It may have been last year, where Josh Allen only threw the ball 9 times in a game. And they just kept feeding the ball to James Cook in that running back room. That's what we need to do. And Josh Allen is arguably the MVP of the league. And he had a game where he only threw it 9 times. Okay? When your run game and your offensive line is so dominant, you don't have to mix shit up. Just keep running the goddamn football and make the opposing team play. Make them pay. I'm sorry. Make them pay. But brothers, I'm just going to enjoy the win. This was a dominant win, good win. We're going to play Arizona State in the next round, January 1st, in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. We're just going to continue on beating up this inferior competition. That's what we're going to do. All right, my brothers, take heed. Peace.